Here now enters the case of pedophiles who just lack the moral compass to do what's right. For your awareness and discretion, here are the youngest moms in the entire world. Mom Z. Mom Z lived on the island of Akwa Akpa, Nigeria, where she gave birth to her daughter at the early age of 8 in the year 1884. Being born to such a tribe in the 19th century, she was subjected to follow the chief's orders, being part of his harem. It was a common practice during those times that chiefs kept their own harem of wives and slaves. A harem is a female-exclusive household that's reserved for princes, lords, and chiefs. Mum Z lived as one of the many women and girls in a harem that belonged to Chief Akiri, and with that the other women and girls in the household were claimed as his property, he was able to have his way with them freely. With Mum Z giving birth to a girl that grew up in the same household, it's come to a point where she became the youngest grandmother in the world, as her own daughter gave birth to another child from the same father. This true story is believed to be one of the most shocking in the history of mankind, where tradition has denied children the right for their childhood. Traditions like these are certainly meant to be abolished because it doesn't protect, it only endangers lives and deprives rights. Hilda Trujillo. Hilda Trujillo was a girl who grew up thinking she would have a normal childhood, but things completely changed when her family found out that she was pregnant. Being an 8-year-old girl living in a humble household in Peru, Hilda caught her mother's attention with an uncharacteristic bump in her stomach. She opened up about this to her mistress, who took the little girl to the doctor, where they found out she was 5 months pregnant. A full medical specialist team, which consisted of obstetricians, gland specialists, radiologists, psychiatrists, and general practitioners, entered the maternity hospital to give a thorough examination and reported her to be normal. Although she did look more mature compared to the other girls her age, the world came crashing down in their household as they found out about this, and were even more enraged when they found out that the girl was raped by her orphan 22-year-old cousin that lived with them. The rapist was arrested by the local police, but Hilda continued with her pregnancy until she gave birth on December 2nd, 1957, to a girl named Maria del Rosario that weighed 5.9 pounds. Wow, right? Griseldina Acuna. Griseldina Acuna of San Zenon, Colombia, would never have thought that she would become a mother at the age of 8. She had her first period when she was only 3 years old. For sure, she might not have been very conscious of her situation at such a young age. Then, things escalated to a different level when she was allegedly touched by a family friend who got her pregnant. She gave birth to a boy weighing 5 pounds on September 13, 1936. There weren't any available records that supplied detailed information about her case, of what happened to her life after giving birth, and if their so-called family friend was prosecuted for child abuse, the case went cold. Zalma Guadalupe Morales. Zalma Guadalupe Morales was only 8 years old also when she gave birth to her son. The delivery was through cesarean section on January 12, 1993 at Guadalajara Hospital. Despite the operation, both Zalma and her son were in perfect condition, with the baby weighing 7 pounds. During the first circulation of this news, her family wanted everything to be kept a secret, but as news traveled, they had no other choice but to disclose the details as they made their statement to the public via the local news agency called Excelsior. It was reported that her uncle had raped her, but there were no further details available on his arrest. This information must have been really shocking for you so far. Try to stay in your seat as we're about to reveal even more, so be sure to watch until the very end. If you're learning a lot from this video, do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Okay, now let's continue on. Young Mother X. This unidentified young mother lived in India, known then as British India, another 8-year-old girl whose childhood got taken away from her. It was reported that she attempted to give birth to her offspring around August of 1933, but she lost her life during labor. Her child also didn't survive. Apparently, this pregnancy didn't really come as a result of unexpected harassment, but rather a legal one. Yes, based on the old Indian customs, as long as a girl has reached puberty, they can legally wed to an eligible bachelor of their parents' choosing. However, reports came out that her mother was a destitute widow and was forced to accept an offer of marriage for her daughter. To date, a lot of these traditional customs were abolished around the world, but there are still some who still practice it. Were you aware of such customs that still exist during this time? Let us know all about it by commenting below. Young Mother Y. Another resident of India. Unidentified young mother Y's case is different from mother X, as she was not given away for marriage. For this young girl's case, it all started when her father brought her to Victoria Zenana Hospital in Delhi, thinking she had an abdominal tumor. The 7-year-old girl was reported to be experiencing pain in her lower abdomen, and upon further investigation, it turns out that the growth originated in her uterus, and she was bearing another human being. There wasn't any disclosed information as to how she got pregnant, because the father was not aware of his daughter having her period at all. This was backed by medical practitioners who examined her, who also found that her body wasn't even fully developed. The 7-year-old mother gave birth to a baby girl, weighing 2.4 pounds, through cesarean procedure on June 7, 1932. Further medical reports on the young mother's case revealed that she was able to continuously administer breastfeeding to her child for 9 months. Wow, a 7-year-old breastfeeding. Her detailed medical report was published in the September 1933 reviews of the British Medical Journal entitled A Case of Maternity at 7 Years of Age by specialist Hila L. Keane. Yelizaveta, Liza Pentueva. Things don't actually get better as you go deeper into this video. As a girl as young as Yelizaveta, Liza Pentueva, a 6-year-old girl who lived in USSR, got impregnated by her very own grandfather. She was 5 years old when her own grandfather took advantage of her medical condition that made her experience puberty at a very early age. With her parents unaware of what had happened to their girl, they brought her to the hospital for the growth in her stomach area. When doctors started to give her a thorough examination, they started to notice the hairs in her armpits and groin area. Her breasts have also started to form and enlarge. The doctors then concluded that she's reached maturity. Even though she hasn't reached the point of menstruation yet, her ovary was already producing fertile eggs. Lisa was an ordinary child, but the mystery of her pregnancy haunted everyone in their household. They started suspecting the other kid she was playing with, but her mother wasn't convinced that this was done by one of her playmates. It was then that she started asking Lisa if an adult had been very close to her, that the child revealed how her grandfather, who lived with them at the time, liked to touch her a lot when they weren't around. A lot of girls her age would welcome their birthday with a baby doll as a gift, but for little Lisa, she went through her birthday thinking about the day when she would give birth to an actual baby. 6 days after she turned 6, she went through a very difficult labor, trying to give birth the natural way, on August 19, 1934. Wow. Unfortunately, it did not end well for her baby, as the umbilical cord got severed too early, which deprived the infant of oxygen and was not able to breathe properly. After her failed childbirth, the family moved to a different city. There aren't any records that show that the grandfather was arrested for his crime, but it seems that he accompanied them as they transferred residence. What are your reactions to this story? Are you enraged? Did you think her parents should have reported the harassment to the authorities, even if the little girl loved her grandfather very much? Let us know in the comments below. Lena Medina. Lena Medina is recorded to be the youngest mother to ever give birth, at the age of 5 years old, and lived in Tecapro, Peru. Yes, the thought of being impregnated at the age of 4 is a very, very disturbing reality. Born on September 23, 1933, Lena began her puberty at 8 months and was already having regular menstrual flow at the age of 3. Similar to the other girls, her parents didn't expect her to be pregnant at such a young age. They took her to the hospital for the growth in her abdomen, believing it was a tumor. They were scared for her being so young. But as experts started examining her, they soon found out that she was actually 7 months pregnant. The main physician at that time then searched for a second opinion at the Capital Hospital in Lima, and all of them arrived at the same conclusion. Eventually, Lena gave birth through cesarean section to a healthy boy that weighed 5.9 pounds, making her the youngest mother ever recorded to give birth in the history of mankind. There wasn't proper documentation that led to determining who had abused her and caused her pregnancy, so the identity of the father remains unknown to this date. A suspicion was raised that she was abused by her father, but he was later released due to lack of evidence. Lena's son was raised with the understanding that Lena was his older sister, but he found out at the age of 10 that she was actually his birth mother. Despite the tragedy that befell Lena at such a young age, she continued to live a normal life, and she even got married and bore a second son in the year 1972. You may notice that these reports dated to so many years back, and we hope Lena would be the first and last youngest mother to ever exist in the history of mankind. Child abuse is very much real to this date, and you should forever stand against it. No little girl should ever have to go through what these girls had to. Never. Could you have been a parent at that age? Let us know how this video made you feel by opening up a discussion in the comments section about how cases like this should be addressed. From the people of Cleverside, we would like to remind you to stay aware of your surroundings and to remain vigilant to the dangers of domestic abuse. Please do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. You can also let us know about other topics you want us to cover by leaving a comment down below. Here are some of our other videos you might like. Thanks for watching and see you next time.